Welcome back everyone to It's Not Easy Being Green Screen on the Amstrad CPC, of course, and here we are with Palace Software's Barbarian, and it's certainly not easy being green when you're wearing a loincloth and a headband and maybe a little bit of body armour and trying to chop other people's heads off. Yes, this is 1987 beat 'em up, brilliant, really good. This excellently enjoyable game. Back in the day. It's a shame its sequel wasn't as good. It could have been better, but it wasn't. They changed the idea. Anyway, we're not going to go into that. We're going to go into how the glorious graphics in this game get affected by the tinge of green. And there are two backgrounds in Barbarian 2 on the Amstrad. You have the forest background, which is this one. And you also have the dungeon background as well. So we're going to see how the forest background fares the most in green because of its very already green nature. Now, oh, lovely chop of the head off there. As it's this game is a beat 'em up and very precise. You really got to get your eyes in to know exactly where your opponent is, where you are in position, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not sure whether this is going to be very good in green, on the proviso that the gameplay might be affected. The graphics might not look too bad actually. That geezer's tunic is going to really glow, I'm guessing. I'm not sure what other parts are going to glow. Maybe the sky will go very dark. I'm not sure. It's going to be a bit of a conundrum to see what happens here, because there's also already a lot of green on the screen, and certainly all that colour at the top is going to disappear as well, of course. But the key thing is, will it be playable once we take all this glorious colour away? We will find out. Let's just get this geezer back in the corner, I think. Oh, I'm on the other side of him. Whoops. Come here, son. Gotta roll away a lot. I'm going to hedge him in the corner there, and I hope to give me a chance to pause the game, because otherwise if I just stop playing and reach for the pause button, the geezer will batter the crap out of me. So let's just scooge him over to the other side. I want to get the other side of him actually. Oh god, come on. No, he's kicked me to the floor, so sod it. I'm going to pause it there and flip it to green, and let's see what happens. And green now. Oh my word, he's almost disappeared into the background. Oh my god. Okay, so yeah, like I said, his tunic is really bright. So you can spot him from a mile off with that, your enemy there. But unfortunately, this is he's got dark skin tone, this enemy in particular, and it's blending in with the background because the forest in the background. I've got his head off though. The definition in his features and definition in the muscle tone of the sprite has all vanished, unfortunately, with the dark skin tone there, producing a very dark green. Let's see if a different skin tone Barbarian will fare better in green. My sprite is actually okay, apart from the tunic. The tunic seems to be very blurry. It's blurring into the background quite a considerable bit. Unfortunately, we cannot see the strikes. The strikes seem to be all this in the bit in the corner here is a bit of a mess, bit of a jumbled mess with the tree trunks in the background, the legs of both the sprites, all kind of blurring into one. So it all looks a bit of a mess, and you kind of lose what you're doing. The strikes, obviously, the sword strikes seem to be vanished. You get a little red dash. Red strike obviously when you make contact, and they vanished almost completely. I can barely see them at all, so I'm not sure whether I'm making contact all the time outside of the sound effects. As for the rest of the screen, obviously the lovely colourful Barbarian logo is turned into, it's actually not bad actually, it's actually very bright and stands out. The energy bars, very dull. And the snakes at the side don't look too bad at all. They're already in green, of course. But I think the sprites clashing with the background and all these tones of green does make things a lot trickier to play the game. Certainly where your position is, where your sword is, in fact, a lot of the time. I can't really seem to sort of... When he's rolling, you kind of lose what's going on in a bit of a fashion. Sometimes the spinny sword move there, sort of like you can't see the sword, which is a shame. And so when we get into the corners, it's a bit of a mess, isn't it? It really is. So I'm not doing very well here. I'm struggling. Oh my word, that was a terrible move. Got absolutely hit to hell. Unfortunately, it does detract from the game. It really does. Yeah, you know, you can still enjoy the game, of course you can, but and nothing else gets detracted away from it. I mean, the sprite definition is still there of a fashion. Unfortunately, it's very distracting having bits of the sprite blur into the background. They don't stand out enough. They're not clear enough, and as a result, I've been smacked to the floor. That is it then. It's not easy being green screen with Barbarian, and I'll leave you with what the other stage looks like and the title screen. Thank you for watching. Novabug, out.